the impact of AI, IoT, and blockchain. Please join me in welcoming the moderator, Mr. Rupesh and Digital Officer, Prism Johnson Limited. Can we have a big round of applause for Mr. Moderator? Mr. Rupesh, over 22 years of IT experience, his expertise spans digital transformation, IT operations, and project management across various industries, including FMCG and building materials. Mr. Rupesh has a proven track record of identifying and leveraging technologies for sustainable business growth and achieve organizational KPIs. He has successfully led projects involving emerging technologies such as SAP, ERP, CRM, IoT, HCM, DMS, and cloud migration. His domain experience in sales with exceptional leadership has been instrumental in implementing large-scale digital transformation initiatives within the sales and the logistics sectors. Further, I would like to introduce our following panelists. Mr. Balpreet Singh, Head IT, Alembic Pharmaceuticals Limited. Mr. Ajay Awale, CIO, Aquapharm Chemical Private Limited. Mr. Ganesh Joshi, CIO, Nilon Enterprises. Please put your hands together for the panelist and the moderator. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, so good afternoon everyone, and we'll take this opportunity to share some thoughts as well as some ideas, and particularly the use cases of how do you use AI, IoT, blockchain, because we have some experts who have already implemented this. Some of them are doing pilots and POCs. So I think this will be a very good session for all of us to understand from them. So let me first welcome all the panelists, and without much of a delay, I will just get into the topics. So we have a good variety, one from pharma, another from food business, and from chemical industry. So it's a B2B, more of a B2B. So let me first start with, Ganesh, about what is your take on use of IoT as well as blockchain, because these are the new emerging technologies which we see a lot has been talked about it. We have seen this in the factory side, the manufacturing side, but your experience on how can we extend it to the front end, that's towards the consumer side or marketing side, if you can, give your thoughts on it.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank Gainskill for giving us opportunity to interact in a panel discussion and share our thoughts and experiences. I would like to take this and set the context in relation to the human, how human operates, and then artificial intelligence we will take together. So we have a 5 sense organ, right? One is the eyes, then ear, nose, and skin touch. So, and taste. Basically, in the technology also, if we see all these currently, if we go to the beyond, the data is being inputted in a system by somebody. Now, these 3 technologies, which we are speaking here in the panel discussion, the AI, IoT, and the blockchain, it is interrelated because human also cannot operate without all this sense organ. The intelligence which we are actually learning continuously, and that is where our brain works. That is how our brain works. So the huge data, basically the challenge with the huge data earlier in the back days or the years, that the trust on the data is very less. The second challenge is the security of that big data and the performance again. But these new technologies, which IoT and the blockchain, which interconnects between these links, like our nervous system, which is connected to our brain, the same way this technology works. So this is how I would like to set the first context. How can the artificial intelligence work? Because ultimately it is a knowledge, and knowledge is nothing but a data. Now, coming to the organizations, how to leverage these technologies, because next CIOs, we have seen the past 2 presentations. CIOs always is working for a next 5 to 10 years journey. And the technologies which are emerging currently is a AI, IoT, and because ERPs we already have been implemented a long back. The data is there, but the data is in the silos, either in silos or it is a huge data which cannot be read or cannot take the decision based on those data. And now, if we come to the reliability of the data, then the IoT sensors came in picture, like our sense organ, which we get the intelligence, but here to learn the machine, you need a data, so the machines are giving the data to the data warehouse, we can say databases, and it's a huge data, the terabytes, petabytes of data. Again, getting the intelligence out of it is also a challenge. Then the blockchain technology came in picture, wherein the data is in the decentralized form. It is a framework which allows to interact with the machines, man, and the databases particularly, so that you will get a reliable sources of the data. And now businesses are looking, because the early days, the human will operate based on their past experiences. Now the machine will operate based on the patterns which is the last 2-3 years. So getting this data and integrating between these devices, the sensors and all those things, is a future. So converting the knowledge or the data into a value which organizations are looking in future.
Yeah, so thanks. It was a good start to give a comparison between how human works and how AI is, the fundamental of that, because we all know about neurons and the technology which has been used. So Balpreet, coming to you, pharma industry is also a very regulated industry. So within that regulations, there is a lot of R&D or other, not R&D, but I would say CIOs, the challenge is to use the information, use the data, and also implement new technologies. So how do you see the IoT in this area, use of IoT, and the capability or other integrating that with the AI applications?
So first of all, thank you to Gain Skills for getting this platform where we can come and talk about our thoughts. Now, as you talked about AI and IoT, so I think IoT, what it is, how it is, I think Ganesh has already given the context. So I'll put it in two parts. So if it's an industry which is, let's say, B2B, so then it'll be like a industry IoT, the sensors that we, let's say, put in our plants and to see whether all the parameters are within the desired levels and all. The other could be probably a B2C, where all of us are, the customers, and probably, if not all, most of us wear some sort of a head, a health band or a, smartwatch. So these are the sensors which are giving data to organization. It could be an industrial sensor or it could be for a retail customers. Now, there's too much of data. Now, let's say if I talk about from a retail perspective, I keep churning out a lot of data throughout the day from my health band, and I don't know what to do with it. And even, my service provider is not able to give me any meaningful insights or actionable out of it. So it would not be of a great value add to me. And in the same way, from, an industrial concept, if I have those sensors which are giving me all temperature, pressure parameters, or if, something is going beyond the level, or if in supply chain, if, something has gone way off from the, route which it had to follow, if I am not able to take action or predict and, trying to stop it or take action as soon as it happens, near real time, it might not be of much use, which is where, the AI algorithms can play a part. Heavy data crunching that it can do in order to take care of this data and converting it into meaningful insights. So predictive maintenance or proactive maintenance for that matter from a, industrial point of view comes into the picture. We can also look at, lesser data travel in the infrastructure rather than everything moving from these sensors into my cloud solution. Let's say if I better the edge computing using AI models which can be deployed on each and every of these IoT sensors, then in fact the challenge of probably data leakage can also come down. Obviously, in terms of making data-driven decision-making, these AI models can help because it can tell me meaningful insights, and hence I'll be able to decide, let's say, a what-if scenario also, what do I do now? Do I take a shutdown now? Do I have to wait? And probably even do it over the weekend. So these are the insights coming in. And overall, if I look at it that way, obviously from a, threat or an anomaly, something going wrong for me as an individual taking care of my health, or from an organization perspective, something untoward doesn't happen at my plant or my premises, these would be of help to me. So at the end of it, I feel it's more of a customer experience, a retail or a B2B customer, that it should look at it. So the AI model, if it helps me do my work better in a lesser time with insights, definitely AI and IoT combination would be of great help to us.
Yeah, so of course in pharma it has helped a lot because we have seen all the gadgets, we've seen smartwatches, we have seen the glucometers who are helping you to monitor your health performances. Like the car, IoT, nowadays the IoTs have been used across industry in automobiles, where each and every sensor gives you the health of the car. So now soon humans will also have those type of devices. But with this also comes the security part of it, because again ultimately it's the end users here, it is not the automobile, it's a person. So in terms of security, let me also extend this to you on the security part of it. So what challenges you face maintaining this security? Because with the new data protection law coming in, that is making more stringent, and as you know, every company accountable for the data theft. So how do you tackle that?
Well, definitely when there is data, then it has to be secure. So I'll say if we look at the basic principles, few of them being, let's say, if the data is encrypted, and if it is authorization control, that who can see what data, it should not be open. These are probably a couple of points on that part of it. Now, the way I said about, let's say, edge computing. Now, if data travels less, so the chances of data getting leaked also becomes lesser that way. I remember, a couple of these stats I was reading through a report of Zscaler. So over last couple of years or so, I think this was a report from late 2023, that the number of IoT devices in the manufacturing sector has increased by 300%, if I remember correctly. And hence, the kind of attacks that have happened on the IoT devices have also increased, and primarily in the manufacturing sector. So in that way, the more touch points we have, the chances of a threat or a data privacy issues would come in. In this, from as you talked about glucometer and all those health as a sector, if we look at it from a retail customer, they have a lot of our data. Now, if it gets leaked, it will be a havoc to us as an individual, and obviously challenges to that organization as well, which is where, as you said, the DPDP Act, or let's say for that matter, GDPR. So following the law of the land, adhering to it becomes important. As an organization, we should ensure that we are doing what is needed. Can we look at, let's say from an AI model perspective, use the minimal data that we need, and hence we capture only that. We don't gather anything and everything that we have. So lesser data control that we capture. And when we are feeding it into the AI model, we can also look at anonymizing the data. There should not be any PII attached to it that later somebody can backtrack and figure out that this data pertains to which set of individuals. And while we are doing this, if we have regular security audits, if we also have a proper plan of an incident response, if something happens, what do I do? And if there are things which are coming in, let's say in the security audits, do them regularly, take care of all the points which would have come in that you are not complying to. If we keep doing these things, a large part of the privacy issues can get taken care of.
So coming to Ajay, you are into a process industry, core manufacturing, process industry, chemicals. So how do you see in for over last few years, IoT has played a very critical role in this industry, right? When you talk of boosting production or a maintenance side, but how do you see that is getting extended to the other areas?
Yeah, sure. So thanks for the opportunity, first of all, to gain skills. And so I represent a chemical organization called Aquapharm Chemicals. And as you rightly said, traditionally manufacturing sector itself has got different, streams also. Chemical is one of the stream. And culturally, it is little bit behind to the IT trends. Even pharma also. I mean, it's on the similar way. But this decade, completely, with all the new technologies, for example, AI is today, it's a boost, no doubt about it. But if you go back maybe a couple of decades or 15 years back, then it was only IT, for example. And then IT was just wires, computers, maybe one of the backbone tool, and then that's all. So that's how it is treated, to compute the data and taking some printouts for some reporting purpose. That's all. So, but today, I think it's a different change, for example. Now, if we talk about chemical industry itself, then I would say I think we are one of the company who are having a zero data center in-house, which maybe I can claim we are the first in the chemical sector that we don't have any in-house data center. Everything is on cloud. And it's not the statement that I'm making, but for the sake of discussions, in fact. So that's how it is a big change. And particularly if you talk about AI, I think it was earlier also present. I mean, since last 50 years, the name is still different. But artificial intelligence is just a naming purpose, it's different. But today, I think data is the key and everybody is utilizing that. Now, if you talk about my company, I think we already having couple of projects run because if you see the test cases in the industries, the actual realization is not that satisfactorily, I would say, because in my opinion, I generally talk to vendors, rigorously. I mean, couple of vendors or maybe 3-4 vendors in a week. That's what I keep discussing, because you get knowledge from them and that's your source, honestly. And looking at use cases in the industry, very less, which are end-to-end results are coming out of it. But conceptually, everybody talks about AI. I mean, that's the word. Yeah. IoT, it's a different, I would say, because IoT deals with your device also, IoT deals with your data also, and IoT gives you result. And general typical example is your CCTV cameras, actually. I mean, that's happening since, more than 10, 12 years, 15 years. I mean, the cameras are on the internet and people are watching your shops, your business, everything. But nobody was calling it as an IoT, actually. So IoT as a term coming in 5, 6 years, 10 years, whatever. But it is there and it is widely used. It has, proven quite well benefits to the business or individuals, whatever. So distinguishingly, I would say today, though the namings are right and people are utilizing it, but realization needs to be analyzed and mapped. But IoT is one of the successful, and in chemical industry also, irrespective of any manufacturing setup, your product, I think it is a proven kind of thing.
So can you explain or give some example of how you have using IoT or any manufacturing company is using IoT in there to help them?
Yeah, sure. I think I have 4 examples, I would say, which are realized, for example. In my earlier organization also, and in this organization also, I think the pure IoT is, as I said, cameras. And today, I think for surveillance of the entire plant, we are utilizing cameras in a real new fashion way, I would say. So every movement is getting captured, alerts are getting automatically sent to the respective people. They are taking actions on all the alerts. There is a central dashboard for that. People are operating on that dashboard. Even my plant head itself, I mean, he looks on all the alerts regularly. separate screen, white screen is given to his own cabin, and then he sees what's happening on the camera front. So that's one common example. I don't want to talk much on that. But the real example, which is giving you the business benefits, is the energy meter calculations. It's widely common phenomena, but realized in the industries. Same thing we implemented. It's giving the right consumption of energy across your plant. Wherever you want to split that, you can split it. Whether it's a minor department, major department, small segments, I think you can just distribute that, calculate it according to whatever you are getting norms from the MSAB or whoever the source supplies. And then you have your dashboard ready before the bill comes actually. And you come to know where to get it controlled, first of all, or whether it is getting vested at any part. And that is giving, right from day one, it will give you the ROI starting. So the implementation might take, few capital expenditure, but still ROI is significant. I mean, you cannot calculate it as such. The third one, I would say, with the system which is connected to the manufacturing operations. As Balpreet rightly said, there are sensors in your manufacturing streamlines, and then it captures the data, and then it gets fed to your main ERP or backbone system. So, but these are directly connected, for example. But if you call it as an IoT, then if you have a third center where it is giving you the signal, then you can term it as an IoT, for example. So similarly, we have a processing unit somewhere remote, and the same data is getting utilized to do certain different operations. For example, on the R&D front, I would say. So that is what the third example. And the fourth one is, your maintenance kind of thing. Your maintenance line utilizes the IoT devices. I think I have seen that device, which is quite, solid solenoid kind of thing, which is fitted to your major motors, for example.
PLCs and motors,
yeah. Motors. And then it gives you a quite good analysis of your, the voice analysis of your RPM, for example. And based on to that RPM, somebody can analyze what is the health of that motor, whether they have to do some preventive maintenance on it, or it is due, or there is some problem. I think they come to know. A dashboard is already there. So people can utilize it, I would say. How effective, I think the business people can tell you. So, yeah.
Yeah, just to add to you, these are the starting points where the sensors are being used to capture the data, like as you said, vibration centers, heat sensors, and to capture the data. And further, this has been now used, or rather many of the areas, you will see the engineers been using it to analyze the data. But now AI is also progressing where you can see patterns, and with the historical data, they give you the analysis, saying that okay, these are interconnected things, and a motor heating is not the problem of maybe the heater. It is of the load somewhere, the pressure which is there on the loading which is done on the motor. Maybe if it is a conveyor belt. So these type of all the connected dots, when you have a full picture, AI gives you a better, analysis of that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
The only thing is I won't call it as an AI because it's purely ML. Yeah. So it learns, it completely learns your systems. It gives you, wide analysis on that, and it asks you to take some decisions, basically. Yeah, if your system is quite capable to take decisions of its own, and then again learns out of that, and then generate certain different analysis, then you can call it as an AI or Gen AI, whatever. So that difference is still there in the manufacturing, I would say mechanical industries basically. But that's right, actually. A lot of tremendous information is getting captured. For example, in my organization, or any manufacturing organization who is having a DCS system in place or SCADA system in place, then every minute, every second, data is captured. And that data is getting locked somewhere, actually. Whether you have to keep it or, just obsolete that after 1 hour, that decision depends on the analyst of that organization. But that huge data, which is in terms of GB or terabyte, I think you have a chance to get that capture window, analyze it, process it, leave it. Get the another window, analyze it, process it, leave it. So in that way, I think you can utilize, you can record the things, and then of course build of your own. So that's AI model. I would say I have not seen that, but yeah, it's a conceptually you can definitely do it. But on the ML front, everybody is working and it's proven simply.
So coming back to Ganesh, how do you see blockchain being used in this area? Because we have heard and seen a lot talked about blockchain in financial sector, about the ledgers and other things. But when it comes to other areas, have you seen that it can be used or extended in other areas?
Of course. So whenever this such kind of a project came in the manufacturing, because we are a food manufacturer, and justifying the value out of it is challenge. And again, this industry is evolving, and it will take a time. But we tried basically. First, the problem statement we need to identify where we can utilize harness the power of the technology. And in the food industry particularly, the differentiator, how can you differentiate in the ocean basically to yourself in front of consumer? We are talking about the smart consumer, smart cities, smart buildings, smart factories. So here basically we are from the very unorganized sector. And FSSI, which is a regulation body for the food industry, within next 3 to 4 years will definitely evolve, and they will ask that key when you are buying the food product, basically manufacturers are claiming that the ingredients put in the product are these ingredients and the percentage also. So whether these percentages are really, put there in the bottles or in the sachets or pouches, that is a question mark to the consumer. And basically we took this as a pilot project for implementing and to gain the consumer confidence by just clicking on the QR code scan from the bottle or the pouches. Consumer should know the ingredients, from where it is sourced, from when it is sourced, because ultimately the future smart consumer will definitely check all these ingredients, because it is a food and pharma. Basically, these two industries run hand on hand. And now Government of India also have been mandated to 3,000 drugs that they should have a back traceability to their ingredient. Even FSSI also says that this currently manufacturers are basically doing their own manual set of processes to understand the ingredients put in the particular bottle or sachet. But blockchain technology will definitely help to overcome from this challenge. And right from the agro, it should be, suppose we put the sensors or the codes in the particularly the agro products from where we are buying, or the raw materials which we are buying, and then came to the manufacturer, and manufacturer creates the batch out of it and put those all the traceability components in the digital form, and that too without human intervention. So system automatically recognizes when it goods inwards, then while semi-finished manufacturing, and then finished good manufacturing ultimately. So GS1 is a standard body, basically globally standard, where they are coming up with a QR code, and there is a platform called as a product cart. So if we link those things, then the consumer even government also launched the smart consumer app, from which you will scan the QR code and you will identify the batch, the raw material which used, and their source of procuring. So this technology we have tried, this is just in a pilot phase. Even Sri Ravi Shankar, we are manufacturing for them. So the blockchain technology will help us, because there is no biasness. System is recognizing from where it is bought, from where it is manufactured, and from what date basically this product has been included. So this is a blockchain potential in the manufacturing we can utilize.
Yeah, so if I try to understand in layman language, if someone is claiming that this particular product has been manufactured using organic, it's a 100% organic thing. And we have seen that a lot of fake claims are made by companies. Now with the help of technology, you can help that person to backtrace it, that whether it was from which farm it has been manufactured, this was sourced, and whether that farmer has been, certified as organic farming, or it has been, indulged in mechanical farming, or, using pesticides or anything. So those things can be now possible with the help of technology just by scanning the QR code.
Yes.
But of course, that goes back to the entire supply chain being digitized, automated, and capturing all the
details. This is a journey, that is why I said.
But I think in pharma also it is very important, because we have seen a lot of, companies, the export consignments have been rejected because of, use of some chemicals which are banned or not up to the mark. I think this will really help those companies, or, every company to have the trust in, establishing the trust when you are using. So of course,
basically,
it's a
I would like to take 1 minute.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, most of you have been heard about the Thailand and these South Asian countries have been banned the MDH or Everest spices in between. So because when the shelf life of the product is being more, the automatically cancerous cells is being generated into that. So such kind of claims basically can be reduced, and you will gain the confidence of the consumer, so that you will differentiate yourself in the market. So this is how the value of the technology could be bringing in implementing these advanced technologies, blockchain and IoT and AI.
I think now we have some amount left. Can we have any questions from the participant side? Because, we'll open this for sure.
Digitized for this, and it is a journey. So when this will happen, when there is a mandate from the government side, you need to follow these guidelines. I think this will be the point where the technology could be utilized better.
Yeah, and as Ajay touched upon and you correctly pointed out, see, for any latest technology, you also have to have the basics in place, Yeah. So automation, digitization is a must for all these new age technologies like AI, ML, blockchain to be in place. Now, as Ajay said that, you talk to a lot of vendors and everyone says that, okay, we can do it. But the challenge, I'm sure, that is integrating OT and IoT, So that's another topic which we can have a separate discussion on that. But those basic things, if it is in place, I think, So, yeah.
This is again in the co-pilot stage, right? So whenever Microsoft is also claiming that it is a co-pilot, it is not a pilot. So human is there, but slowly it will become a pilot also in future. Once the machine is learning, ultimately, in the beginning also I told that how human intelligence operates, the same way the technology also will be. Once the information is more and more in the machine, then machine will take a right decision. And organizations in the future, next 5 to 10 years, are looking to and expecting the data-driven decision. Then there is a talk on the manufacturing from home. So how manufacturing from home will be possible? Once you have started somewhere the journey and creating the data, right? So if the data is there, enough data is there, then the predictability or the patterns will be a more accurate level. So we cannot say 100%, but at least 80-85% you reach now. I think that will be a revolution.
So, one follow-up things on that, do you see that there is any scope into the blockchain in the coming period? There are a lot of dependency on the government side, on the blockchain, because what we talk about, the way QR code has happened, maybe the technology was been there since the last 10 years, but we have seen the QR perspective revolution after the COVID. So in a blockchain, what is the future we are looking for?
I think another 10 years, 5 to 10 years it will take. In current scenario, if you see in the Europe, they have a mandate. I think 6 months before, there was a session arranged in Mumbai by GS1, the global standard. And like GST, it's like a GST. See, GST we were chased for 5 to 10 years, right? Again, the government and the politics also came in picture, and the organizations basically. Once the population is increased, next 5 to 10 years, we see the future of blockchain in the manufacturing. Currently, financial sector is a very predominant in all the technologies. But in the manufacturing, it will take another 5 to 10 years to reach that level. Because again, the entire ecosystem to be shaken with this technology. So I need to expose my data. Someone, this raw material supplier or the farm, we are saying, they also need to expose, then only it will happen, right? And then it will become a trustworthy. Otherwise, currently, in the current system, I am inputting the data. So it is still, the reliability of the data is not that level.
Yeah, and I think one more important point is how much transparency you want to maintain, because see, it's all, everything will come with a cost. To have this technology in place, to have everything in place will definitely shoot up the cost of the product. And then are you going to be competitive in the market? So all these are secondary angles, but when we talk of pure technology, it's possible.
Yeah, again, the consumer also, the smart consumer should demand all those things, right? Then only it will happen.
Ajay, you have...
But just one statement, in fact. So blockchain as a technology itself is a still mystery, Why it's mystery? Because we have only one example which is proven, that is Bitcoin. Everybody talks about that. And the fear on the Bitcoin was, who is the authority of that? How we will get money out of it? And nobody was knowing that, in fact, okay? I don't know the Bitcoin owners, whether they got, money today or, they are still able to sell or whatever. Then government came into picture and then it is regulated. Then these kind of things will be under governed things. But that still is a, I would say, an area wherein somebody has to take that ownership, own that system, and then make it realize, actually. It's purely a traceability. It's completely traceability system. And I would say the major consumer could be, supply chain in the manufacturing sector. And they can do, a lot of things out of it. I'm sure on that. But still, I would say it's a mystery. Yeah.
Thanks Ganesh, and thanks Ajay. Thanks for the...
Are we on time? Do you still have any? We can still take any questions if you have. Or then I'll have, sorry? At the back, yeah.
Hi, Anil from RCM Consumers. We always talk about AI, blockchain and all, but pilot projects always look good, but when they actually hit the production floor and when we calculate the ROI, they are the actually different paradigm. How to overcome that challenge?
So you want, yeah.
So I think your question is very pertinent. At the end of it, ROI matters. So POCs, a lot of us would have done. If it is top down, let's say the top management wants it, and then probably, there's a use case, and probably it might need some bit of an investment for initial few years, and then it would see light of the day. The other way around is that, let's say what we were talking about, there's a government mandate that we have to do that. Then probably the ROI would be that if we don't comply to it, there'll be other repercussions. So the third part would be that over a period of time, the cost of technology may come down, that we have seen that. And then we'll reach that inflection point wherein we start seeing that the usage of this technology is easy on pocket for an organization. So probably these are the three facets that come to my mind, and others can add in.
Yeah. See, I think to bring the value out of it, we need to use the existing infrastructure and create the values out of it. So I will give my example where the cameras already are installed by people. Generally are using the camera just for the surveillance purpose. But how intelligence you are bringing out of it, that will add the value to the organization. I think this will justify the investment as well. So small projects which with the existing infrastructure, if you are able to implement and show the values, then definitely the investment will come in from the organization. And I got a very good experience of it because we are buying the products from the agro, which is a very unorganized sector. And once the product came in the factory, the cameras which currently are put on the say there are processes when we receive the product, there is a washing, sorting. So for these processes, we have put some intelligence out of the camera that the sorting, whenever the human misses those kind of sorting to because goods, these are perishable goods, and when in transit also you will get something wrong. So system will alert on those things, and then it will, in future, whatever the disaster will happen, that can be sorted out at the earlier stage only. So this is the initial stage where the artificial intelligence kind of a technologies can be utilized in the manufacturing.
Just two lines on the question, actually. You're right, Ganesh, on the IoT front, definitely. But in terms of AI, actually, there is a kind of, for example, forecasting in the organization. Nobody will ask you on the ROI on that front. Every management will say, irrespective of the cost, you can generate that simply. And that's working in terms of sales also, in terms of procurement also. If AI is able to generate the forecasting, giving you the nearby results, then it is approved system irrespective of any cost. So no ROI is getting asked. And that is proven. So that's one example.
Yeah, and I think as a IT leaders, we should also understand the basics of fundamentals of the project management concept. IT also have IT governance, which says that you put in the investment where you can justify the ROI. And when we talk about such initiatives, it's always good to have the business stakeholders involved in this. Because what happens, they are the ones who will be justifying the ROI better. We, as a technology partners, should play the role as a consulting partner to help them evaluate the right tools, the right technologies, and own up the implementation, help them in pilots and POCs. But when it comes to ROC, it should be a joint, responsibility. Else, it will be only the IT who will be hold responsible, saying that you justify what is the ROI. This is what my personal
ownership also with the business.
With the business, because they have to be driving that.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
It was a very interesting conversation. A lot of exchanges, new ideas have also come up. Yes, the topic was such that there is no right and wrong in this. It's all grey. We are all experimenting on that. But I am sure that a few years down the line, we'll be having some solid use cases in every industry, which will take it. Will prove this technologies to be a boon for the Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nirgude, for moderating the session so well, and thank you to all our panelists. I would like to call upon stage Mr. Omesh Bhujbal, CTO, Nexus Select Malls, to do the honors.